Well, obviously we need some smooth jazz, if that's true. Or, there you go. Lovely. Hello everybody, what's up? Andy here from Glass Half Dead, the #1 Kill Team channel on YouTube, unless of course you are aware of any other Kill Team channel on YouTube. Also, I am the only one, so you can't possibly be. Academic Chris immediately with the 199. Thank you so much for the Hydratus Dominatus. I suppose if we begin the stream in such a manner, then we must also explain that any support you give to me, whether that be here or on Patreon or both, obviously, I won't deny such a delightful thing if you choose to do that, will go directly towards my hydration fund. Today we have Freeway Cola from Aldi and or Lidl, but they're the same thing, so I literally can't tell. So there you go. That 199 from Academic Chris, keeping me thirsty. Or not thirsty. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There you go. Love to see it. Of course, Academic Chris, I just, so you're aware, Academic Chris, I just listened to both of your videos. So I did catch all of it. It was good classic pre and post tourney stuff. I always enjoy a tournament reports, I've got to say. It's some of my most enjoyed content when I'm watching other people. Because it's just people chatting about the game, but with quite a focus. Whereas I feel like a lot of podcasts just go off on one. I was like, you know. But if it's just a tournament report, is you get personality and you get the game is the focus, whilst having an injection of however, because lots of people will give that to you in many different ways. One moment. There you go. There you go. As a man that is follically challenged, if I have my normal overhead light on, all you're going to see all stream is my head shining. So I turn that off. Right, anyway, I have my stuff in the wrong place. This is really weird to look at. That's why I'm looking in the wrong place. I do apologise. Go over here. Lovely. Perfect. Sorry, of course, let's... Oh, wait, I need this turned on as well. Smashed it. That is my hobby light. Now, I don't think I have done any hobbies since I bought this hobby light. But very quickly, I can show you what we might have on the docket. I've got a little bit of stuff that I need to do before I get on to other stuff. The other stuff being, I've got a big box of terrain here, which is like magnetized terrain, right? This is just the thing that I've just sprayed up to today, and you see it's all magnetized, right? So you could do that and whatever. Just grab another thing and it just kind of connects to there kind of thing, right? And like you can just continue to build it up. And I'm going to talk about that a bit. But yeah, there you go. But I don't know what to do for that. But we might get to the hobby. We might. I think we can all agree that if I do get to hobby, I will not read chat, and I think that ain't the vibe. That's not my... Sorry, let me read through chat now. Daniel Green trying to not be late. He's not here talking, so, you know. I understand that vibe, that's fair. Kaz, hello. Eddie, hello. Good to see you again. Back from Spain, of course. I think you were back last week, not the point. You'll be winning up swamp trees. I'm going to assume that means painting. Are they Warcry swamp trees? Meat trees. Square enjoy hobbies, not the exact thing. Going to struggle with painting your Drukhari army and Eddie's Ultramarines. I feel, Eddie, should you not be painting the Ultramarines, or is that? Not that I want to, you know, mess with the distribution of chores, but whatever. What colour Drukhari? Not a question I can ask of Ultramarines, obviously. Blue. Ian, good to see you. Dante Coat, good to see you. I shall be talking about terrain, yes. I actually have a few ranty topics to discuss, but I only put terrain on the thumbnail, so. But yes, I've got some interesting things. I just had you know, Tacticus, like the game Tacticus, pop up saying, hey, do you want to do this like thing, and we'll pay you a tiny amount. And I've actually played Tacticus before, so I thought, yeah, maybe, sure. But to get paid any like decent amount, I need like 10k views, and if I've got 10k views, that's already a very successful video for me. So it's like, eh. So I ain't getting paid bugger all. So is it even worth doing it? Anyway, talk about that later. Yeah, never gonna get to the never gonna get to the terrain, especially if I have to actually do some hobby before I get to the terrain, right? Hello, Miko. Good to see you. Hello, Kiwi Commander. Smooth jazz and soft lighting. That's me. That's my vibe. That's my vibe. Tabletop Impulse hobby. Am I gonna get to it? I doubt it, if I'm honest, but it's here, it's in front of me, so maybe. Multitasking, as you will find out once I start the hobby, no, I have not. There you go. Is it always to do the tourney reports you're writing it? Yes, I always enjoy a good tourney report. I don't do them myself because I don't go to tournaments, although the last tournament I went to, I could have done one, but I didn't. Hello, Jim, good to see you. Niall, hello, good to see you. The split camera arrangement is fire. Oh, yes. Well, back in the day, I used to have 3 cameras. I still do, actually. But they don't make sense. So I can... Because I've got this here as well. So I can do... If I want to, I can do this as well. There you go. But obviously, there's no point in actually having these on screen, right? These are just 2 different cameras. There you go. Wow. Look at that. And then we can have my hand there as well. There you go. Out of amusement's sake, this here is the Sony A7 that I have. It's my DSLR camera that I never move from there. It's above my monitor. It is the best camera, obviously, because it's a DSLR. However, if I'm doing hobby, my face is going to be pointing downwards the whole time, and at least here you can see a little bit that my face, instead of just getting the very top of my head, which would obviously be a bit weird. So I'm not using that. Hence why I've plugged in my phone today. And that's right, this camera here, which could be that, is just my iPhone. Because you know what? Oh, and this camera up here, that's my other iPhone. I run almost exclusively off iPhones. This is my old iPhone. I upgraded basically as soon as I could because I specifically wanted another iPhone because it works with OBS. That's the only reason. Yeah. Brewster, hello. Hydratus, Dominatus. I don't think it should be Terminatus. I don't know about that one. And the team is kill because the people are cool. Or, I don't know, killed. I don't know. Tacticus is awesome. I've enjoyed I've enjoyed what I have enjoyed of Tacticus that I have played, but I've played until I've gotten bored and the fights, and I've stopped being able to 3-star the fights. And I'm like, oh, okay. Clearly, if I want to keep 3-starring the fights, I need to pay. And I'll stop. There you go. My Drukari will be more like Drow from D&D with pale blues and purples. Armor maybe Night Lord's blue. Yeah, that makes sense. Aren't Drukari isn't that their normal color? Like dark blue? Talking about games, Bolt Gun is free on PSN this month. I didn't get into Bolt Gun. I played it, you know, I bought it obviously, but I'm not a boomer shooter guy. Yeah. Glass, what are your thoughts on the rumours of Kill Team random hero boxes if you can't guarantee a set like the Stormy release? Yeah. I don't know. I do not like gacha boxes. I do not like gambling of any form. In case you're unaware, in the UK, we have gambling shops just like randomly, like 2 or 3 down every high street. I think it's absolutely insane. I'm incredibly anti-gambling. Not that I've ever been a gambler myself, to be clear. It's not my foible. not my disease. But I think it's absolutely insane. But then I also think that things like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards are absolutely insane. So clearly it's just a thing I don't jive with, but is totally acceptable to lots of people. But is what it is. And then what will happen? They'll send me one box, if I get it at all, and I don't get the kill team. So I was like, well, that sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm really against it. Yeah. And if they give me a box, I still open it, but I would refuse to. I would flash up every 30 seconds in the video an aside of me saying, "Do not buy this. Do not promote it for GW." You know, like I don't know. It's yeah. I hope they don't. There you go. Gets a bit Hall of Mirrors. Yes, it does get a bit strange. I agree. 3 camera setup. You know it. You know it. Join our guild on Tacticus. I honestly don't know how guilds work in Tacticus, but sure, I will happily join your guild. Yeah. Film on the iPhone and iPad. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, any smartphone within the last 3 years will have a top tier camera, so you're good to go. You've had too much drinks. If it, yeah, that's true. Is there a tier list for teams good for joint ops? No, it would just be the same. I don't think the tier list really changes that much, if I'm honest. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure we could all sit down and have some thoughts on it, but it doesn't really change. Joint ops is just, you know, it's just half your team, isn't it? Nothing succeeds like excess. Very true. Love bolt guns. Still late. That's all right, Daniel. You're getting the hang of it. You're getting the hang of it. You did say you were going to be here, but you weren't. But that's fine. It's okay. I think Incubi Green might be the standard Drukhari armor base, but I feel blue is this. Is it? This might just be a colorblind thing for me. Because I feel like the standard. In my mind, I have a picture of a Drukhari Archon on the front of a Codex cover, and he is in blue armor. 100%. So I can't even think of green armor, but it could be that it's green, but it's a weird blue-green, and I don't see the green. Super Hype 3rd edition, busy building commandos. Do you mean kill team? I'm very confused. Have we travelled back in time? What's happening? What's happening, Bruce? Darts gambling is insane. Betfred Kazoo. I've never been a darts man. Because you know why? Because I can't count that fast. That's why I can't do the maths that the darts guys do. So it's like, I can't play this. They still might go back to the idea that you can have a whole set in a box. Maybe they were moved by my complaining. Maybe. I mean, so I don't mind a gacha box if you buy the box, which you can buy, and everything's in it. That's okay. Because in a similar way, I don't have any issue with eBay splitters. I also do not have an issue with a full box. They're just allowing you to buy one model at a time. Like, that's inherently fine. But yeah, gambling, bad. The only Cloverbow, hello. The only connotation that the hero boxes are okay to me is the context of alternative sergeants for units. Yeah, that'd be fun too. I think, in fairness, Space Marine Heroes is always very you just get some dudes, right? And they're not. It's not like this is the only way you can get these guys. You can get them in other ways. You can. Right, it's just alternative sculpts for regular dudes. They don't even make a good kill team, right? You can get all of those models for the kill team from other boxes, you know? So I don't inherently dislike the Space Marine Heroes idea. It gives you a cool little grab bag of Space Marine units, right? that's fine for me. I just don't like the concept of you pay for something and you don't get it. It's like some proper anti-consumer stuff. Oh, of course, but I would like to say, I would like to give a subscriber-only benefit, as we've been here for coming up 20 minutes now. That subscriber-only benefit is a big double hello. Can you tell that my thing's broken? Hey, what is a double hello? It's a pleasantry given to you twice. Why would you want a pleasantry given to you twice? I don't know, it's just nice, isn't it? I guess. I don't know. There you go. Cool. Oh, you can't see me doing this because my face is in the way. Great. Well, that's just where I was naturally doing it. There you go. I'll do it a bit further over here. This is... Oh, I can't show you. Bugger. This is a War Machine model that they... Steamforged Games just sent to me. They sent me this new The Gravediggers set, and I've got to say, I'm quite liking them. Big fan. I'm basing them not on the bases that they've sent, but on 40k star bases. And they're just going to go into my Imperial Guard army, and they will be Kassakin, so I'm putting them on 28 mils. There you go. Or the bigger models will be Ogrins, and I'll put them on 40s. And I'm actually, I think these guys are pretty great. And from 3D printing perspective, this material is significantly better to the stuff I've had before from them. I did get one misprint, which I will show you because it's almost a funny misprint. But this is quite, yeah, this is good stuff. There are many models where I just literally, there are no print lines. It's just a perfect model, right? So I will indeed go ahead and do that. I should shrink myself more so that I don't have to do this in such a weird position. Right. How can I do this? Okay, I think that's better. What is the largest model you own? I have a Stormraven gunship and Kratos heavy tank still to build. Not sure where to store them once built. You know what? You know what the largest model I own is? I think it's the largest model GW do. That's not true. That's not true. It's probably Smaug is the largest model, isn't it? If you recall, there was an Age of Sigmar Champion of Khorne on Dragon, and I bought a recast of that. And I believe that is a huge model. I also own, yeah, that's it. Otherwise, it's probably this guy here, the War Machine model, the Archangel. That's a pretty big model, to be fair. What else do I have? Aside from, I mean, I've got all the knights and stuff, but they're not. I mean, those are big models. But they're not necessarily huge, are they? So, oh, what's this guy down here, isn't it? I've got the Forge, not the Forge World. It used to be Forge World only. Now it's in a plastic kit for Horus Heresy. One of those knights. They are bigger than an Imperial Knight, Akaros Knight, whatever they might be called. So many iPhones when VTuber debut. Yeah. So I am old enough and not hip enough to not understand VTubers. There you go. I'm just going to say it. I don't get it. I think it's weird. More power to them. Good for them. I'm not going to, go and piss in their cereal, but I think it's strange and I don't understand why somebody would do it. There you go. It's what it is. But, good for them, I suppose. And good for people that like it. I don't think that's true. Perhaps if I were to understand the psychology, maybe it's actually not good that people like VTubers. But I haven't done enough research to see why they do. If it's some sort of it increases disconnection from reality, then I'm going to say it's a bad thing. And to me, that's what I get when I see VTubers. It feels like it is done, and it is only pushing people further away from being socially competent. But again, I could be swayed on that. I occasionally get VTubers pop up in my feed, and I'm like, this is weird. And I've watched a few, videos with VTubers. I think it's very odd. Although, yeah, there you go. There you go. Drukhari feel black and poison green, do they? Now, a black and green armor I can get into. That's fair. That's fair. I'll be down for that. So I was at that store again last weekend, and you got another box of Nemclaw. Outrageous. You can't be in the UK, because nowhere in the UK has it. So why even buy Space Marine gacha boxes when all Space Marine... You know what, Bruce, that is a very fair point. You're in too deep to Warhammer if you can actually tell the differences between different Space Marines. I think we can all agree on that. But then you're also watching a kill team live stream. So, you are in too deep. We are exactly the type of people that should be debating whether or not gacha boxes are good in Warhammer. We are those people, right? We have such a bizarre specialist interest that we are the chosen ones. I remember this really stuck with me for some bizarre reason. There was a lighting guy for a movie who was talking so deeply and passionately about his hatred for another guy that lights movie sets. And I was like, at the time, I was a younger man, and I was like, I didn't even think that, oh, do you need a specialist lighter for your movie? That's weird. Obviously now I'm fully aware you do. But like at the time, it hadn't even occurred to me that you need someone that is into lighting for a movie, and that one person chooses to light things in one way, but then and they care about it so much that they dislike and hate another person's lighting technique. And yeah, that really stuck with me, about like passions and hidden jobs, and like I don't care about the lighting, and I'd never even realized it existed, but to these people it was their life. And how could I ever step on their toes and get in the way of their fight to the death over which is the better way to light a set, right? They are the chosen ones for that subject, and good for them that they have such passion that they would debate such a thing, So I was at that store again last weekend. Andy, should have put your other iPhone cam of the double hello. These you mean embiggened my face, I assume, because these are my two iPhone cameras. I've turned off my DSLR. Oh, but yes, I could have had three cameras on for the dub. For the dub. No, that would be for the trip, surely. A VTuber. Gosh. So the V means virtual. Tuber means, someone that is on the tube. On the old cathodes, if you will. I believe it really comes from Twitch as opposed to YouTube, but obviously those two environments are so tightly woven now. It's just somebody that sets up like a mocap 3D rig to their camera, so as they move an arm, a model, which will be a 2D animation on the screen of like stereotypically a cute anime girl, very kawaii, will copy their motion. So as they express, there will be certain keyframes where if you smile, then your VTuber, your model smiles as well, etc, etc. I feel like I would rather just see people, but yeah, for me, I don't know. Hopefully somebody that's into VTubers can explain it to me a bit more. To me, it genuinely just comes across as further disconnecting people from other people. Yeah. So that's fine, I guess. Hatsune Miku. Yeah, I don't know who that is, Tucker. I feel I've heard the name, but yeah. Chose one equals hobby nerds. Arek N. Hello. How's it going? Miko, we need to bring back professional grudges based purely on style differences. I agree. I'm all for somebody just like randomly hating another person within their profession. I'm like, yes, go off, king. And the more obscure the profession, the better, honestly. Because it's these people that have these bizarre passions that make good stuff. Inevitably, they're creative people as well, to some degree. And therefore don't get paid enough. Ian. So have finished salvages. I have a choice, Plague Queens or Nemclaw. Ooh, so I can answer this question very quickly and easily because I have never played as or against Plague Marines. There you go. My vague understanding is that Plague Marines are very good and are a touch more forgiving than Nemclaw because they have a lot more damage reduction. So yes, they're 14 wounds, but actually they're more like 20 in reality because you've got like a feel no pain and you've got some other stuff in there as well. So there you go. There you go. I think that the tier lists currently put Nemclaw as technically being better, but I don't really know why. So both good, I would say, whichever one you can actually purchase. Yeah, that's probably the actual answer, if I'm honest. Do I just have 2 models here? Yeah, I do. Okay. Hey, we're watching me do a urban base. Woo! Hobby tutorial time. Urban bases by Glass Off Dead. All you need is a tub of rough white pumice. Let me catch up with chat. I do film lighting, and yeah, it can be a bit weird in places. Average British nerd, a well-named YouTube. The thing is, though, so obviously I only didn't understand how important lighting was because it was never something I needed to care about, right? As I now care about such things, like, I get it. And it's not as weird as I originally thought, right? Like 100%. Yeah, so I actually don't think it's as weird as what I originally thought it was. Just throwing that out there. You know, the first time somebody tried to explain to me the principles of key lighting so that I could have good looking YouTube videos, and I immediately didn't understand it. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to learn stuff. I don't know. I still don't do any of that, to be clear. But yeah. Axie. Would you say learning about how passionate others are on a topic in filmmaking was enlightening? Yes, it was. It's the people who do audio, music, and film that are the most passionate. They're the loudest. Is that an audio joke? Is my first question. I assume it is. I'm just going to assume it is and move on. But yes. Audio is super important. You know, if anyone's starting out YouTube, I would say, like, get your audio sorted before your visuals. Visuals, you know, you don't actually need to go too crazy. Get a light on your face. Diffuse it. Have a second light at a different angle in a different color. Your iPhone's more than good enough. You never need to upgrade from that. But if your audio sucks and people can't listen, you're screwed. You are screwed. And there are some real audio files on YouTube, let me tell you. Because I know that about 80% of people, and it grows each year, watch my content on their phone. Just plugged in. Useless, right? Like, not useless, sorry. Wrong word. What am I saying? How does this go on? I don't know what this guy looks like. I don't know what this guy's meant to look like. Sorry, I'm blanking a bit. There you go. I blanked because I was doing hobby, and I currently have stuff on the table that if I don't do in time, goes off. So I just totally blanked on what I was saying. There you go. Yeah. You understand the argument for VTubing it as an aspect of anonymity while still having an emotive character to use? Yeah, sure. Sure, I suppose. I guess. I don't know. Sure. That is a reason. Waiting for Kawaii Nurgling. That'd be cool. I'd like some of that. Yeah. DSLR, not iPhone, very fair. I thought VTuber was a virtual reality potato. Oh, Bruce. Comedy gold. I might see if I can use that in the future. It's very amusing. Nemclaw over Plague Marines all day long. Nice. I think they're two flavors of the same coin, you know? Don't know what that means. You know it's going to be a bang when Andy drops the jazz. You know it, my man. I feel like that was said a long time ago. Like I've had the jazz on since I began. I think Glass Half Dead versus VTuber War. The VTubers will win. So I in general, I try to not go to war with people. Yeah, that's call me crazy. Call me crazy, but I try to not go to war with people. Because they will win. I am very weak-willed. I want to be clear on that. Jesus. Maybe it was just a light pun. Oh, you can earn yourself a ban quickly, actually, with that kind of bullshit. Let me tell you that. Terrible. Terrible. Why do I keep on licking the model? I don't know. My girlfriend just joined the chat and I can't help myself, maybe? I don't know. No, it's because superglue goes off faster when things are wet. That doesn't sound any better, does it? It does though. So if you like lick the other side or dip in water, but I don't have any water here, so you know. I do not have this fitting. This is going horrifyingly wrong. Okay, there you go. Smashed it. Lovely. It's close enough. Which is good, to be honest, Andy. Applying too many professional techniques to the video can make it come across as fake. Mate, not a problem with my videos. Don't you worry. I have professional studios coming to me saying, Andy, wow, we just saw your latest video. Never before have we seen something so amateur. We need your guidance. Please tell us how you've done it. We've lost the ability to be that bad. I'm a bit of a guru when it comes to shit content, actually. Yeah, no, people ask a lot of questions and I'm like, mate, it just comes naturally, actually. There you go. But no, I've done these. I have not paid attention. Whatever, doesn't matter. This is bits of cut up cardboard, of course. When you get a box of models, comes in a box. I just cut those up, push them down. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Actually, I am building some War Machine models, which I will show you all of in a moment, actually. These just turned up today. Yeah, today. And then we glue their feet. And we stick them down. Good enough for government work. And these will be Ogrins in my 40k army, if I ever paint them. It's gonna fall. Jesus Christ. There you go. Lovely. That's a really cool custom glass half glue you got there, Andy. Is it? Oh, G8. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. Sure. War Machine, yes. War Machine. They sent me this box. It's the Gravedigger core expansion. I really like the models. It is what it is. I really like the Gravediggers. I'm a huge fan. If I were to ever get back to my roots of writing fantasy, it would basically be Gravediggers. Like, I just think they're so cool. I always say it's really bizarre that I'm not into Trench Crusade, because that is exactly my vibe. Honestly, trench warfare plus magic. I'm there. I'm in. That's like, I'll read it. I'll write it. How else can you consume that media? Whatever. I will do unspeakable things to that. Huge fan. And Gravediggers just hit that exactly for me. Whereas I don't particularly like the grimdark aesthetic in general. That's why Trench Crusade turns me off of it a smidge, I can't lie. Gravediggers are just right in there. Basically World of Warcraft. I was like, yeah, hype. Love it. Yeah. You want the freeway cola tonight? Yes, I am. Now, the battle rages on between Freeway Cola and Vive Cola. One from Lidl, one from Aldi. I prefer this because it has a matte finish as opposed to a gloss finish. And I'm a sucker for aesthetics, you know? Why does the British soul yearn for the trenches? I feel like that could be a title for a video. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. I don't know what I'd do in that video. Maybe if I ever actually cover Trench Crusade, I will title it or put it in the thumbnail, "Why does my soul yearn for the trenches?" Something like that. That sounds funny. I think there's a joke in there. It's good. Jay, my girlfriend, says, "So late to the stream tonight. Hello, everyone. Hello, Andy. Hello, Jay. How's it going? Hopefully you've had a good night out with the girls. Love a Warjack model. You know what? I don't like Warjacks. I like the infantry. The Warjacks to me are always questionable. I think that the new Gravedigger ones are the best they've done so far. Well, the Khador ones are good too. But of the Signar, they've beefed up the legs a bit. They look far more respectable. But I just like the infantry, if I'm honest with you. So, not that the warjacks are bad. They're not the infantry. The infantry are standout models for me. Hobby question says, I haven't really done bases a lot. Can you still use texture paste and other like it if everything is glued together before? Yes, 100%. In fact, I normally do because I forget to do the texture paste first. So for all of my Space Marines over here, that's exactly what I did. So, you know, I just got my man here. As you can tell, I just put the mud base. To clarify, obviously he's not finished. So ignore the quality of the base. But this is just putting the mud texture paste around his feet. That's it. There you go. That's how I normally put them on. All of my Custodes. So my Custodes are exactly the same type of urban base. Urban rubble base. But I did it... Instead of doing it this way, which is better, to be clear, I did it... I put the model on the base and then put the thing, the model, and then put the texture paste on. Which, if we get over to my recently finished painted Custode, this is the texture paste added after the model stuck on there, and then I do the little flagstones. It doesn't really make a difference. There you go. I prefer to do the texture paste first because it's a little bit easier, but I don't think it actually makes any difference to the final result of the model. It's my hot take on that one. Greetings and salutations to Major Tom. You've missed the double hello, and you've missed some hobby. So, I mean, wow. Oh, I am, however, done with the hobby, and I can go look at some terrain now, though. Oh, gosh. Have I missed something? No. True, though, no matter how it sounds, I forgot what was said, but good. Don't eat the glue. Oh, right. Super glue. Yes. Yeah, pro tip, lick the other side of the model, not the glued side. That will be very bad for you. Evening, this is ground control. Yeah, lol, the joke's 1010. I was thinking about adapting a Warjack model as a possessed robot demon engine for my Chaos Squats in Necromunda. Hell yeah, of course. I mean, obviously in Necromunda, Warjacks are just straight up, what are those things called? Automata dudes. They could either just be the Slave Ogren gang, or... I can't remember what they're called. I have them, because I have one of every Necromunda model, even though I don't play the game. But, you know, the robots, whatever they're called. Hey Jay, dropping bombs there, Andy. K-Dot are the best faction. I thoroughly disagree. And I will say, on the notion of K-Dot, I'm against Old Umbre. They don't spark joy for me at all, actually, I've got to say. It's great that some people are into them. Maybe I would be, like, if I saw them. But at the moment, they haven't done much for me. They're very Wicker Man, aren't they? K-Dot are cool in general. K-Dot are a second faction for me, but they don't come anywhere close to Signar. Although I will say, I mean, right here, right there, I have my K-Dot right next to my Signar from the 2-player starter set. I think these K-Dot are top tier, really nice. And I will happily put them, as I have and eventually will, right next alongside my my Gravediggers as, you know, proxy Kassakin or Scions or whatever they're going to be. Right. I don't know why we're because of, yeah, okay. No, I remember why. I'm currently doing a diorama with Black Templars reinforcing some battle sisters against Emperor's children. Should I add some Kriegsmen? If I do, will my parents ever love me? Oh, well, you know what? The beauty of 40k is you can do literally anything you want. It's all canon. So you can do anything you want, my man. And yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? Why wouldn't you? You can have Krieg fighting arm in arm with some Battle Sisters and then being reinforced by some BTs. Sure. I guess it depends how big the diorama is going to be. If it's a huge diorama, you definitely should. If it's a smaller piece, a little bit more intimate, then maybe you don't want to pull the eye away from, you know, like the All-Star, the Black Templar, which is coming in and rocking people's tits. Maybe. Don't know. Mud texture paints you should put on after you've glued them to the base. Sure. Thanks, good to know. I've been gluing everything together without thinking about basing or ease painting. Yeah, no, you're totally fine to do the texture paints after. Like, so the reason I do texture paints, pastes quite early is because I don't have an example. Oh no. So basically, the way I do model, unfortunately, all of my unpainted Tyranids are upstairs, so I can't show you them. But you see my boy here. If you ignore that he is currently coloured, you see his base is done. So what I would have done is I would have painted him, sprayed him, and then done all of the blue, because the blue was done with just a big spray bottle. So it's basically the spray coat. And then I would have finished the base, because then you have a model that has enough colour on it that people can see it on a board, and so it is playable. That's how I view it. Yeah. Sorry, this is one of the signals. So you see, obviously this is not a finished model, to be clear. But the reason the base is already done is because with the base done and having the black outline, the black rim, good black rim job, we all love that, plus a colour on the base, it looks like a model. And like, yeah, it probably shouldn't just be all white or blue, you know, but it's like, yeah, this looks acceptable on a table. And ultimately I'm a gamer, not a hobbyist. And so the faster I can get something not table ready, but table acceptable, I do that. And so I always do bases first. Yeah, there you go. And that's why when I do my base rims, I use a Sharpie because it's faster. There you go. I use a Sharpie. There you go. Although, to be clear, the final thing I do on every model is still paint the rim properly with the real paint. Well, contrast. But the first time I do it, I'm always just quickly black rim with a Sharpie, done. Goes to the side until I'm ready to finish the model properly with the real paint. There you go. On the subject of bases, I have the entire blooded kill team roster, but they're all already based. Any advice for adding deco and detail to a base with the miniature already attached? I'm not very keen on removing it. No. Why? I love doing a base because I'm very confused. Is everything already painted? So I never really go too far on bases. I keep it very simple. You want your base to be a contrasting opposite sort of color to your model, and it's there to frame. Or, sorry, you want to keep your base relatively neutral. What color scheme are your blooded? Either keep it neutral, browns, grays. That's kind of what you want your base to be. And I like texture paste. However, a texture paste is never finished on its own. So even though my Space Marines back here all have a brown mud base, which to just slap down works and is ready to go, one of the final things I would do on the model is finish the base, which means you've got to give it a wash and you've got to give it a dry brush highlight. The fact that it's just brown is great, good start, but you've got to do more. I would say, yeah. Part of the reason I like the mud, well, I can't advise you because you've got the color green, and I can't work with green, so I don't know how to deal with that. I apologize. I deliberately don't use green in any of my paint schemes because I can't see it. So there you go. I don't know. I mean, blooded, go with the mud base. You put the mud paste on, you give it a wash. Some use Agrax Earthshade, I prefer Seraphim Sepia. Then you just give it a light dry brush of like, depending on what colour you want it to be, you can either just use like a skag brown or something, or like a wraithbone. Like super light wraithbone to just really bring up the points on it. And then like just give it like 1 or 2 either rocks or tufts of grass, depending on which you prefer. And that's it. It'll be super quick. And there you go. Evening, or are you looking at the mini wargaming? Yes, I am. Sorry, happy dude. I realized you asked that ages ago. I will be looking at that in about 5 minutes, probably. I have it in a box right here. I did very briefly show all of that. But yes, I have half a table with me, and I've done the first like spray before I crack on with it. But I'll get to that in a mo. Old Tricky, I vote for Krieg Riders. Oh. That's a good one. There are some lovely poses on the Krieg, actually. Yeah. There's one of them straight up in like a stabbing, jousting pose. I often criticize GW for their terrible, terrible poses when it comes to models. Sorry, cavalry. But the Krieg Riders are really good. One moment, I need to clear this up. Lovely. There we go. Now they can join their brethren. There you go. So as you can see here, we've got the artillery dudes on a 50. So they can just straight up be a Cadian or a Krieg artillery crew. I think these guys look really nice. They're pretty much what I would expect for an artillery crew, to be fair. And then we've got these guys. These are like the commando dudes. I think they look sweet. Yeah. I'm actually, yeah, I'm like super hyped on all of these models. Always love the ogres. If you recall, my orcs are blue because in 2018, I bought special orcs and some trolls from Trollkin from the Signar. No, sorry, from War Machine. And I wanted them to be, I don't like green. So I thought, oh, I'll do them all as blue skin. And so now my orcs are always going to be space trolls. And yeah, just love these dudes. Love these dudes. I put these guys on the 40s so that they could be Ogren, obviously. And then, yeah, big fan. Big fan. Sorry, there was a question. What is the Wondrous Hoover thing? Desktop Hoover. Yeah, you got to have one. You got to have one, right? Like if you're snipping, you got stuff all over the shop, you've got to have a desktop Hoover, my man. Sorry, right. Custodians are coming to Tacticus. Yes, they are. I just saw that. I will do a Patreon video probably tomorrow, I guess, where I talk about the Tacticus offer they've given me. And then I don't know. I don't know what video to do for that. Oh, have I pushed that down? Yeah. Yeah. So I suppose another thing to talk about here is this urban rubble flagstone basing system came about purely because I really like urban rubble as a concept and having my guys in there, and it's a nice, you know, grey is a nice neutral colour scheme to have on a base. But yeah, but it's also like one of the hardest things to do without just using a 3D printed base. And so I came up with this. It obviously doesn't look as good as a 3D printed base, but considering it can be done using just this texture paste and like a cut up box, I'm actually very happy with how it's turned out. So well done me. Not winning tonight, back shortly I hope. Fair enough, Major Tom. What size is the Warjack base? So they, I don't know. So the heavies come on 50mm bases, the lights come on 40mm bases. But obviously I'm putting them all on GW bases. Oh God, sorry. Instead of War Machine bases, which are lipped. There you go. And then I'm matching their base sizes to the GW unit I want to use them as. And let's be honest, with YouTube algorithms the way they are these days, if I can get them into a Warhammer video, they're going to get more eyes on them than if I can get them into a War Machine video, is my justification there. So. Okay. Yeah. They are painted, yes, good. I usually base my minis attached, especially if I'm adding tufts, make sure I don't make it impossible to fit the mini on there. It's totally fair. Me too, normally. On my way home to finally finish my first KTT, a little non-oil and AOD will be back ready. Love it. You can't go wrong with non-oil, that's for sure. Green Fatigue's government alarm. The sniper cloak was fun. I recently tried using some very fine glitter on the Orb of Magnus's weapon. Don't. Okay, well, that's good to know. It's good to know. Yeah. You can trick yourself into thinking that normal arts and crafts stuff is good. It's a shame that the glitter doesn't work. I can imagine the glitter might work on something like, you know, his wings or something, like something larger. But then also, if you just have that larger area, you might as well just paint it, you know? Yeah. Is it smooth jazz tonight? It's always smooth jazz tonight. Hypnobirthing music. I wouldn't know about that, but yes, I do like to keep the smooth jazz on. If I'm honest, swapping to the other things, it feels weird now. I mean, I could swap over to my World of Warcraft play soundtrack. I could swap over to my Mechanicus, you know, but I feel like smooth jazz just works. Can you tell us what model your Hoover thing is? Oh, I don't know. Portentum. There you go. So this is just one I got off of Amazon. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best model. Yeah, it's fine, I think. I've had another one before this, which was also good. But it didn't have a USB-C charger. It had like its own custom charger, which I didn't like at all because it meant I had to use that one cable for it. But yes, these bad boys are very useful. Very true, Andy. The algorithm does love to push a GW video over any other game system, as well as GW being more mainstream. Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. You know, if I had infinite time, I would 100% make a fifth YouTube channel, which is my other game systems channel. And War Machine would get a lot of chat over there, alongside various other things as well. But in reality, I just don't have time to do multiple game systems. So one thing I am trying to do is because I've been doing a few more shorts lately, as I'm sure you're aware, I'm gonna play around with seeing if I can make make shorts using like hobby shorts, you know? Bit cringe, I know, bit cringe, hobby, what the hell. And when I do those, try and use War Machine models or something. I am not a full-time YouTuber, no. I do, yeah, I'm like a, I don't know, project manager or something for a research company. I make very little money on YouTube. Yeah. To anybody wondering how many subscribers do you need to be a full-time YouTuber? More than me, buddy. No, I don't even make minimum wage on YouTube. Oh. Let's say goodbye to the Gravediggers. These are lovely. I'm a big fan. I'm excited to do them. There you go. Okay, right, let's crack on some terrain. And I guess I'll talk about terrain and using large terrain in Kill Team. Move that out of the way. I'm still fairly new to miniatures, so I've only used Citadel paints, but I have seen Vallejo recommended a lot in the 9 months I've been building painting. Yeah, I mean, so all of the absolute top tier painters will tell you that paints are just a tool, and that you don't need to use. If you want to only ever use GW, that's fine. If you want to only use Vallejo, that's fine. If you want to only use P3, if you want to only use Army Painter, it's all fine. All of the paints that are all of the ranges have paints that they have like really nailed, and paints that are not as good as other companies. So there is, without a doubt, I'm sure, some master list of these are the best paints picked from all of these ranges. But also, a lot of ranges have slightly different shades for what is supposed to be kind of the same color. So whatever works for you. I use almost exclusively contrast paints. I have quite a few Army Painter speed paints, but the reason I don't use those as much is purely because I'm lazy. And I like being able to just dip my brush in the top of this and then put it straight on the model. That's it. When I need to go to real paints, I tend to use old P3, which actually is really nice. However, since old P3 isn't made anymore, if I had to go and get myself a whole new set of paint, I would probably, like real paints, I would probably just use Army Painter Fanatic, because I hear they have good one coat coverage, and that's all I care about. You know? I'm lazy, so don't look to me for hobby help. But yeah. We always use your affiliated links for all of our purchases. I hope you're getting a site out. Eddie, yeah, I assume I am. I mean, I don't know who uses my links. However, if you, yeah, using my affiliate links is genuinely super helpful. Both Element, Wayland, whichever one you're buying from. Yeah, super helpful. I mean, I get 5% of the sale price, right? So it's not like huge money, but yeah, it's a great way to support a creator. It doesn't have to be me, it can be anybody, of course. Almost everybody that's a YouTuber has, you know, affiliate links to all of these places. And yeah, it's just super useful, super helpful, because you're going to buy stuff anyway. So why not just give someone 5% of your sale, right? Instead of giving nobody it, you know? Yeah, costs you nothing. I get a little kickback. Brilliant. Hobby shorts would be decent. Yeah, I'll try. So what you've just seen here, I'm in the process of doing a hobby video. It'll be something lame like how to do urban bases or how to do city bases. The problem is, I don't like hobby. So for me to do a hobby video, I have to finish a model. Like, oh my god, really? Cringe, right? So I've done the first bits. I've filmed me putting that onto a model. But now I have to finish the model. So it's going to be months, you know? Anyway, we'll get there, Last time I heard about Vallejo, they had some labour issue going on. Did it get resolved? Anyone? Yes, it did get resolved. My understanding is that the workers won, I guess. So, seems to be. I only use Citadel paints because they're very accessible with my LGS, and the Citadel paint app is fantastic to track my inventory. Yep. Great reason, sure. I don't get the War Machine pricing model. Some boxes of 10 models are 16 to 23, but then a box of 12 can cost 70 to 80. What gives? So I don't know about that specifically. Although I don't think any box of 10 models is 16 to 23 pounds. I imagine you're seeing old models. The thing is, so, you know, when I think about money, I feel like everything's expensive. And I was often on the train of, how dare GW cost this much? But then I started buying lots of Infinity and War Machine, and I was like, oh. And I was looking into buying an army for Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, and I was like, oh, GW's pricing is fine, actually. I'm okay with it. I mean, yeah. So I no longer criticize prices from any company. There you go. It's just... And everybody has such a different view on how much they want to spend on their hobby. And... you know what? Warhammer's not an expensive hobby as an adult. I could be into cars. I could be into DIY renovating my house. I could be into golf. I would not have any money left at the end of the month. Whereas at least with Warhammer, I have enough to cry into, you know? Wait, you said you don't like using speed paint because you are lazy. How? No, that's... No. No. I do like using speed paints. I don't like using proper paints because I'm lazy. I find it the fastest way for me. It's like why I bought it. Yes. Maybe, you know, hey, maybe I misspoke. What I meant was I only paint in contrast paints. Yes. But I then said if I did need to buy new proper paints, I would probably buy Army Painter Fanatic because they apparently have good one coat coverage. And that's all I care about because I'm lazy. Thing is, hobby shorts would add to you getting models done and also be good for the lazy hobbyist. Yes, hopefully. Yes, I agree. There's nothing finer than being lazy and getting lazy person tips. Right, can I zoom out a smidge? Here we go. Lovely. That there, what I just did, is the only reason I bought an iPhone. So that I can do that. I can touch the screen and use the camera app as it's open. Good use of money. Fishing is surprisingly expensive hobby. Yeah, everything is. Any adult hobby is expensive. Yes. Golfing, watches, that sounds painfully expensive. I've seen the cost of those. I thought you were now into renovate. Oh, the thing is, Bruce, too expensive. I've been looking into redoing the game room, right? Because, like, I can justify it mentally because it will be on camera at times. Firstly, it's a hell of a lot of work. Also, oh my god, it's cost me so much money. Like, I figured out how much it would cost me to just do, like, 2 walls in like, some acoustic paneling. It's like, oh, Jesus. It's not even that expensive. It's just, I didn't want to spend that much. I wanted to hoard my wealth, not spend it. You know? problem with fishing is there's just so much money. Same with anything, right? The old plastic isn't yachts argument. The old plastic isn't yachts. Your people who are into watches spend so many. Yeah. Right. Let's take a look at some of this, shall we? Let me also. So, what's cracking? Okay. So this is some 3D printed terrain. FDM printed from Mini Wargaming, their new Kickstarter called, I think it's Road to Perdition? Perdition Ruins? I don't know. We'll get to it. And it's a magnetized full board terrain system. I've noticed there's like 4 GW competitive table terrain systems all releasing at the same time. 2 of them seem to be identical, to the point that I'm pretty sure one of them probably decided to like do it, and then the factory in China had the molds and somebody else jumped on it, right? Like, because they seem to be identical. Which is Quartermaster Gaming and Snot Goblin Gaming. They seem to have an identical product, from what I can tell. Also, yeah, like, suspiciously weird. I've also seen somebody over in the US who has an Etsy store. I can't remember his name, but he was recently on Play on Tabletop where they use his terrain. That looks super cool. It was foldable. So the Snot Goblin Gaming and the Quartermaster Gaming is like slots. So everything slots together, and it's built in like, I don't have these, by the way, but I've seen adverts, and everything is in like whatever, like these squares, and each square like slots into each other, so you can build the board to be very customizable. I don't know how sturdy anything is, but it's all HIPS plastic, which is nice. I like a good HIPS. Big fan of HIPS. This is resin. Sorry. FDM. This is FDM printed. And the other one from the Etsy store, I can't remember what that is. I think it might be plastic as well, but this is FDM. Of course, for this, you can just buy the STLs and print it yourself if you want. However, this is a shipped product that they will send you. They gave me half a board because obviously I'm a Kill Team channel, not a 40k channel. And I thought, all right, well, let's see what I can do with that, right? So, I magnetized everything yesterday. I thought the magnetizing was going to take longer, and that's what I was going to be doing magnets on stream. But I did all the magnets. I managed to get everything sprayed, and I then even managed to get my first layer of color on it, which is a shocker, to be honest with you. So I thought, hey, let's just put it here, take a look at it, see how it works. Oh, here is a weird one. Try getting into high-end Japanese selvage denim. You know what, I probably won't try to. But because I have a crippling Warhammer addiction. Not because I don't think it's cool, obviously. You know? I'm sure it's very fun. So let's put it together. So the floors just slot in like that, and then I can do another floor bit here, maybe. Oh, I've got to put this on. Not them. Where's a corner one? There you go. Okay, so it just goes there like that. Yeah, okay. And then we'll have that go there. Okay, push the floor in, obviously. Lovely. So that could be, that could be all we do, right? Like a gun. And that could be your L shape. Smashed it. Lovely. But we can keep building, obviously. So we've got a little half height thing, which we can put there. And we can, oh, I guess we could put that there, couldn't we? Yeah. There you go. Do that. That's a thing. Or something somewhat more appropriate, maybe. I don't know, that one. How? Like that? You know? It's like, that's a ruin, I guess. There you go. I don't know. Seems fair. Magnets, how do they work? Nobody truly knows. RSMP tabletop. Yo, thanks for the comment on the battle rep. Me and my entire squad have been learned so much from you. Thank you so much. I did see that on your comment, you said we have all fought you. So I'm going to leave a response saying, oh, you all fight me? It was a typo. You meant watched, but you said fought me. I really liked your battle report. It was very cool. Yes, I can tell you put a lot of effort into that. As somebody that hates putting effort into anything, but also obviously does YouTube, I can see how much effort went into it. Good job on the editing. Keep at it. Good job, man. Good job. Magnets. Hey Glass, missed the last two streams, probably caught one. Hello again, Major Tom. Hello, CT. Is he actually doing the stated topic? Yeah, chat's not talking too much. You know what it is? Like, if I'm honest, slightly lower view count than normal, because people are clicking on the stream and seeing hobby instead of my beautiful face and like, I'm not here for this. Cringe and leaving, because nobody likes hobby, as we all know. Certainly won't be doing this again, clearly. Am I actually doing the stated topic? Yes. True CT is heresy. Have you ever made terrain DIY using cardboard? No, I never have. I've never tried to do my own DIY terrain. Is that true? Yes, that is true. Yes. That's decent, to be honest. I got ADHD and don't spell check. That is very fair. No, I knew it was. Need both hands for model building. No, obviously, Eddie, I'm sure, and probably Kaz, if I had to guess. My girlfriend, maybe. She's probably tuned out at this point, let's be honest. But, you know, I understand not wishing, you know, I'm the same. Like, if I'm watching Tabletop Impulse or something, I'll be sat there, like, I'm hobbying, I'm doing something. I can't just, you know, can't just be typing all this time. Or I feel like whatever he's doing is enough and I don't need to add to it, right? Well, how does that work? There you go. And then you can't do that, obviously. What are they? Oh, me just clicking random things on the end there. I feel like a big hammer terrain is often missing the small pieces you need for kill team, although you could delete the light pieces from Volkut. Yeah, right? Like at the moment, let's be honest, how much light terrain does Volkus have? So any concept that big hammer terrain has too much heavy and not enough light? No, sir. No, sir. I don't think so. It's a very good fact, CT. John Coleman, cardboard terrain is a pain and most people don't want to play on it. That is understandable. I think there's always a real charm when I see like Reddit posts of people having set up like Jenga or Lego. I think it's cool. I don't want to play on it. Or like I would, but like I don't really want to play on it. I'd rather play on a really cool cinematic table because all of this stuff takes so long and costs so much. I'd probably be immersed. But I think as like a one-off picture, it's like, oh, that's cool. I'd love to comment more, but I've got far too much to do tonight. Very understandable, Major Tom. Don't you worry, sir. Don't you worry. They do have some nice smaller pieces here, though, I will say. I don't know how I can show this off, really, but I'll grab some of these smaller bits, maybe. 1, 2. Maybe I can link them together a bit. Jay, I am still here. I'm painting my models now. You've inspired me. There you go. That's my girlfriend. Inspired by the master of hobby. Glass half dead. Sure. Yeah. There you go. And like that. That's a nice... It's a nice smaller piece of terrain. Isn't it? That works. Very functional, I think. Tunda, hello. Only stopping for a second. I have my high school finals tomorrow. I'm so freaking scared. Don't you worry, Tunda. I can tell you're a man of great intelligence because you watch my channel. Because of that, you will ace it. Don't you worry. That's fact. I'm trying when I can. I get a lot of paint on my hands. Understandable. Not to worry. I'm listening to Glass. He is hobbying, but I'm still waiting for his custom team. Yeah. So, Dante, you can no doubt tell now that the custom teams are going to be the grave diggers, right? But I have to paint them. Good luck me. Kilty needs mostly heavy, too much light, and we get Tau. Do you want to get Tau again? As much as I hate to agree with Major Tom, you know, he's right. If Volkus hath taught us anything, it's that Kill Team and the designers clearly want Kill Team to be focused on heavy terrain. So it's like, you know, we can't deny it, right? We just have to accept a heavy board is acceptable and what they want, I think. So, yeah. Oh, you can also stack this. I see in their videos that you can stack it. Let's try and stack one, shall we? Because I don't think you can. Or not convincingly. Let's give it a crack. So I don't want any of this stuff. Oh, also noting, I don't have a full set. I have half a board. Keep that in mind. So people doing a full board would have significantly more than this. You could say double the amount, in fact. Sadly, I got too busy at work to miss the first hour of the stream. Oh, Count Pora, this is a disaster. Not to worry, penance can always be achieved through Hydratus Dominatus. I wonder if light terrain still has a place in Kill Team. I think I've moved an operative into light once in the past 10 plus games. Yeah, I agree. And often, I will say, on Volkus, I'm annoyed by light terrain because I can't stand behind it because I'll get shot. If I want, like, yeah, that happens quite often as well. I love the stuff. It's wonderful, and I feel the effort put into it comes across nicely. It's often nostalgic for time before 3D printing and even mass MDF laser cutting where DIY hobbying amongst SM. So for a time, I was going to go and buy some of the Troll Trader TT Combat MDF stuff and like put lots of really put effort into it. I think all it would need for effort on the particular buildings I was going to use was larger was additional kind of there's a word for it, gubbins on the outside, which I think could quite easily be added just by using like super gluing some cut up bits of coffee stirrer sticks to add additional outside bits. And I think that would have been totally fine. It would have painted up really nicely as well, actually. But I didn't do it. I don't like hobby. So there you go. Nice. All communities was the norm. Glass inspiring someone to paint sounds like... Yeah, I shouldn't be inspiring people to paint, to do hobby. Yeah. What models are you painting, Jay? That's not for me. That's so funny. I found this in 2 days as well. Tel Perenquois... Curifigneldi. I tried. Tuned in late, didn't realise you're such a hobby head. You know, Ross, I've always said Glass Half Dead is synonymous with hobby kingdoms, you know. And when I say hobby kingdoms, what I mean is I take over those kingdoms, full colonial style, and destroy them. Highlight of the week is listening to Andy's Monday musings. Well, thank you. I was about to say something very mean about myself. I probably shouldn't. It would have been funny though. Pretty curious on this set, although have been burned on Kickstarter before, but mini wargaming is pretty solid. Waiting to see pricing, etc. Also doing hobby ATM has prodded me. So I don't know exact pricing, but I believe a full set is $250 US dizzles. A half set, I don't know what a half set is. To be clear, I don't have like huge amounts of details that you don't. But yeah, so a half table is supposed to be $250 US. Oh, it wouldn't be Canadian, would it? No, I'm pretty sure Matt in one of his videos said it's $250 USD. Because he wouldn't have said Canadian, would he? That would be crazy. That'd be crazy. It must be USD. Which, if you think about what you're getting, I think that's fine. That's kind of how much a table costs. MDF is cheaper. Plastic is more expensive. However, these other things that are popping up, this Etsy store that was recently on Play on Tabletop, which is like foldable, and this Snot Goblin and Quartermaster Gaming, which seem to be a copy of each other, and it's like slottable, which I haven't seen again, so I can't really speak to the quality of any of these things. They're all basically within $20 of each other, so it's absolutely no differences. It's like fine. So everything, it seems to be, well, either they're all pricing for as low as they can with a profit margin of a certain amount, or that's just how much it costs to put a board together, and we're never going to get lower than that. There you go. Whilst keeping things in these materials. So the question becomes, what do you value most in your board? I think that I don't have the other sets, so I can't tell you. There you go. Because, so the big thing that this poses itself as is it flat packs, right? It flat packs, but so do the others. The others flat pack too. So the question becomes, if you value the flat packing above anything else, which one goes back together the easiest? And I've got to say, magnets are pretty easy. Magnets are pretty easy, and I think magnets are probably better for quickly assembling large amounts of terrain than snap fitting, because the snap fitting I've seen, well, no, you must be able to keep like wall sections together. I don't know. I really don't know. I would have to have the other kits in hand and have tested them out. My understanding, no, the others don't have magnets. They snap fit. Like they have interlocking sections and stuff. So it's a different system. Not that I've kept an eye on everything out there, right? To me, the big negative on this kit is that it's FDM printed. I don't know how it's looking on screen, but if you've ever FDM printed, like, you can see the print lines, right? Like, they're very clear and obvious. And there's absolutely no disguising that. Do you care? Okay, well, you're not going to get this kit then. Otherwise, they all cost about the same. So what do you value the most? Personally, I quite like this snappy magnet setup. I think it'll make things go together quite quickly. That's cool. Don't know. That's really... It's a little bit annoying because obviously Mini Wargaming sent me this. The other companies haven't sent me theirs. So I can't... So I couldn't tell you this is the one to buy. Or that's the one to buy. It's like, well, honestly, because the price point is basically identical for all of them, just what do you value? Sorry, right, I'll catch up. Pretty sure on the set. Anyway, I should be procrastinating. I still have a physics. My girlfriend is being forced to paint models. That is factually correct. Yes, I apologize. It is what it is. On Impulse, Tabletop Impulse Streams, we spend a ton of time trying to prevent him from getting to his topics. Yeah, you see, that's where he's gone wrong. That's where he's gone wrong. That's why I only have one. That's why I've stopped bullet points. I just have one topic, like it's an actual video. You can't stop one. No, yeah. It's very challenging to get to a topic. Hydratus Dominatus is done. RSMP told me to come sub, so hello. Ryan Willis, hello. Yes, well, I did indeed just watch the... I'm going to assume that you are one of the people that was on one of the battle reports. In which case, well done. I enjoyed the battle reports. A big double hello. Greebling. Yes, that's the one, isn't it? Yes, a Greebling. They can be added quite easily to MDF terrain as well. TT's Carnival terrain works well for Kill Team. Fighting in actual streets is a novel change. That does sound fun, I agree. Obviously, back when I lived in Bromley, I was right next to a tabletop Troll Trader store. Pretty cool. Plastic terrain for a full mass battle table is so expensive. Just another skirmish win. It is expensive. I agree. You basically would need... Well, is it? How much does Volcus cost in America, out of curiosity? Because that's my only frame of reference, my true frame of reference. To the Yanks in the audience, how much does Killzone Volcus cost from GW? Do others have magnets? So, no, they don't have magnets. I think I've already answered that question. To be honest, it looks good enough for terrain. Fair enough. To each their own. Yep. I mean, I would use this. It's fine, I think. 230. Okay, well, those are quite different answers. One saying 150, one saying 230. I feel like 150 is the answer. 230's... That sounds outrageous. Because that would mean that this set is basically the price of Volcus. And that completely changes my mindset on what I was thinking. 230 is high. Oh, okay. Right. That's not bad, actually. So you get a full board of terrain for £150. I'm thinking pounds. It's not terrible, is it? When I hear 250 for this table of terrain, I'm like, oh, that's quite expensive, actually, guys. You know, like 250. But actually, yeah, Hivestorm was 150. That's not bad, actually, is it? Anyway, I use Dungeons and Laser, which is snap fit. It can be transported, built, but takes a while to build and take apart. Yes, I think for me, logically, that's the issue with snap fit. It does build and come apart and everything. Like, it does what it says on the tin. But you know what? So does Gallowfall, and Gallowfall is a war crime. So, you know, I would never say anybody should build that. Problem with FDM is dry brushing the main way to paint terrain immediately gives this game away. Yes, I agree. Like, if we look here on this bad boy again, if you see this bit here, so it is designed into the FDM that it's a stone texture. And clearly, this is a little divot of like a stone crack. And here, this is like stone. But if I dry brush this, you're just gonna see the FDM lines, right? It's like, I don't know. But to be clear, I don't think this is a bad FDM print. Like, the layer lines seem pretty good for FDM that I've seen. So I'm not criticizing the print for what it is at all. FDM's going to look like FDM. I don't think you can get away from it with current tech. It looks good on cam, so even in person, likely looks good from actual play distance. Oh, from play distance, it's 100% fine. Yeah. To be clear, play distance, FDM's totally fine. You won't notice it. Yeah. Looking at it like this, I can see it. But that's because it's 5 inches away from my face. I don't mind painting the minis, but I hate painting terrain. You see, it's so interesting. Some people love painting terrain because there's no pressure, and it's all totally different, like how you're going to paint it. Like, yeah, really interesting. I wouldn't say I like painting terrain. That's obviously a bit much, but I don't mind it because you can't go wrong for me. Like for this stuff here so far, I've just sprayed random bits of coloured water on it. See what happens. It's like, oh, okay, all right. Interesting. Because I'm not trying to do a specific thing with it. Whereas I couldn't do that on a model. Bulk settings is for 130 on GW. Okay. So 130 for Volcus. And for that to be a full-size 40k board, you'd need 4 sets. Really? Okay, so this is roughly half the cost of GW for a 40k board, right? I think that's about what we could say. Again, keep in mind, I have the half board, not the full board. I'm talking about the full board. This would obviously then be a quarter instead of half, but yeah. Oh, but Volcus is directly comparable, isn't it? This is probably the same cost as Volcus. It's awkward. Okay. Alright. Funny thing, I could probably do 2 to 3 full 6x4 tables using terrain from the Kill Team sets I've bought since 2018. Yeah, you get a lot of terrain. That's true. Would it be good? Who knows? Who knows? I was just complaining with Wes the other day. Well, he was complaining, and I was vaguely listening. That the way 40k terrain works, he currently feels, and I agree with him, that just playing on like, oh, I've got this cool big building that's jamming in the middle of the board or whatever. It's like, yeah, you can do that, obviously. But like, if you get terrain wrong in 40k, you can make a game unwinnable. Similar to Kill Team. Similar to Kill Team, you know. Yeah, it's definitely challenging. Trying to figure out terrain, especially like for me for 40k, I don't know how the terrain's supposed to work. So the only thing I can do if I want a good game is use competitive map packs because I don't know what to do, you know. Miniature hobbyist built Gallowdark with spare sprues. That's not a deal to watch, let alone to do. Oh god, why? Why would you do that? Okay, fair enough. Why is Gallowford a war crime? No, I don't own it and never played it. No, so it went over my head. Oh, it's very difficult to put together. It was GW's first attempt at something like that, and basically the tolerances were a little bit too tight. And so to get it to be a good experience, you had to sand down a lot of the connection joints. However, because I was the first person, basically, or to do this, I did not know it. In fact, my how to paint Gallowdark video it started with me there scraping away at Gallowful connector joints saying, hey, heads up, everybody. I wish I knew this before I started. But of course, because I got it before other people, I didn't know that. So my set still has not been sanded down. And it still sucks to put together. There you go. Airbrush beats dry brush on a film. Yes, Mary Tom, completely agree. In fact, all of the FDM terrain I've seen that looks good is airbrushed. 100%. I don't own an airbrush. But totally agree. I think that having an airbrush for this terrain would elevate it a lot. I don't know how I'm going to do that without an airbrush. So there you go. Probably just a spray bottle, I guess. But actually, really, all I need to do now is, I don't know, I guess for like these ribs, basically I'll get a sponge and hit some metallics. And then I'll get a dark brown and just like battle damage on with a sponge. A brush is never touching this terrain, let's be clear. Big old sponge, bigger the better. That's what she said. Jesus Christ. Get your minds out of the gutter, guys. Outrageous. And boom, done. Done. And then final thing, once I've got the metallics and the battle damage on there, will just be a final spray of like black water. Smashed it. Brutal and cunning upgrade for Volkers, worth it. That's what you're gonna do with it. I don't know. I like it. It's just walls though, you know. And yeah, do you want walls? Then get it. Yeah. If not, probably don't. I can't, you know. Yeah. As someone on the fence about Hivestorm, do you think, ooh, what do you mean? Hivestorm is good. Yeah. There you go. But you've asked about the buffs to the teams, which means I don't really think about Hivestorm in that regard. I think of Hivestorm in the sense of, if you're new to Kill Team, it's a brilliant first purchase. And at that point, the teams don't really matter, you know? Yeah. I don't think you're buying Hivestorm for strong teams. I think you're buying it for everything in the box. And the power level of the teams is literally irrelevant. However, the buff to both of the teams now means that they are stronger, I guess, if that matters. But that's still not why you're buying Hivestorm. Terrain is where I do the majority of dry brushing. It's a great way to refine the technique. I agree, yes. Large swaths, tracts of land, if you will, on the terrain, for sure. Nick, the salamander, waves. Hello, Nick. I will hydrate to that. You've called me out. I have indeed, Louis Top. I have indeed. I can't get started on minis while there is not 100% finished terrain in the house. Oh, okay. I mean, the thing is, the terrain's just kind of easy to do. Like, if you don't care too much. Oh, wait, that's me. I'm the one that doesn't care. Never mind. Sorry. Obviously, some people put so much detail into the terrain and paint everything fully, like it's a true model. It's like, wow. It does look cool. It does look cool. One would have trenches. Trenches are cool, inherently. And I know, hot secret leak tip. We all love a leaky tip. Archon Studio, the guy that do pre-painted plastic terrain, the dungeons and laser stuff, are going to be doing trenches. Pre-painted trenches. That's pretty hot. That's a hot tip. That's a hot tip. There you go. I hope they send me some. I should probably ask them to. I haven't. I should though. That sounds really fun. Same bro, same. My ITD is still... Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. £45 or so for an airbrush, good enough for terrain. The thing is, Major Tom, I've had an airbrush in the past. I tried to use it once and then got bored of it. It's a separate skill to everything else. And I couldn't figure out how to clean it. So I used it once. It didn't look good, which it shouldn't because it's your first time. And it's like, oh, all right. This goes in the bin then, you know. Yeah, drown it in known. Yes, Miko. Drown it in known oil is exactly my intent. Yes. Doesn't look good? We'll dunk it in a bucket of black water. See what happens. Ah, flashback. Does anybody else remember that old, I'm going to say 90s cartoon? I think it might have been called Black Water. I can't remember what channel it would have been on, but it was like, I think, to me, in my child's mind, it was like, I watched it every day after I got home from school. But there were probably like 4 episodes or something. It was like a pirate, and the big thing, there was like black oil in the water. Moving on. Oh, Bucky O'Hare, there's it. Where am I going with this? Bucky O'Hare was a banger, though, obviously. Well, he's a rabbit, of course he was, but you get me. Terrain looks good. Looks a bit like Sandstone Church near where I live. Yes, thank you. That was brown water from a bottle. The technique still works. The technique still works. Yes, indeed, indeed. And yes. I might give it another crack, because at the moment, so it does have more texture to it than if I had just sprayed it with brown, right? It has something to it, but I do want more texture in there. Now, obviously, that will come with a metallic added and with some battle damage, but I feel like I could get another color. Maybe I'll use red, perhaps, and like splatter it very randomly, and that will add. That will add. It's all about the elevation. It's all about the elevation, guys. You've got to get high. High as a kite. Elevate, you know? Anyway, moving on. It's very similar to Volk's terrain, and Volk's is very similar to Octarius. I would love terrain that is as different as Gallowdark and Volkus. I mean, who knows what we're going to get for the next kill zone, right? But I agree. We've had our Imperial Ruins, right? It's been a good overview of the terrain. Appreciate it. Also, really enjoyed AOS Summer Update comparison. Did I do that? I don't think I've done that. Did I? Do you mean me? Or do you mean as a general concept? I will say... Oh. I did. Do you mean the things we can steal from... Yes, you mean that. Because that's the only Age of Sigmar I've done in years. Yeah, well, it just seemed like Age of Sigmar was getting some cool stuff that the other GW systems weren't getting. So I was like, why don't we get this? And I'm sure I said it in that video, which nobody watched, to be clear. Very poor performing video because it was Age of Sigmar related. But sorry, I'm gonna Age of Sigmar has lots of stuff I really like in it, I will say. Anyway, right, sorry, I just saw this. I want to show it to you. You see this here, this texture, where beneath it you're seeing some of the grey through, and then you're getting this dappled effect. This is the effect I want, right? It adds instant texture across the entire thing. Everything here is quite uniform. You get it a little bit. You get a little bit of splashing there, maybe. But I want everything to be dappled like this, right? So I think what I need to do to get that is basically go back. I'm going to use brown again, but I'm going to barely dilute it. So I'm almost going to do a... I'm almost going to just be flicking it with paint, basically, as I want a dappled effect. Okay, moving on. Right, cool. Anyway, right. Sick. I'm pumped for the Archon trenches. Yeah, that would be really exciting. They do lovely looking terrain. A lot of their stuff is really boxy, but they recently did some caves, I saw. And that's a little bit more organic. I hope that they make... my fear is that they're going to make the trenches quite boxy. It's like, guys, come on, you know. But we will see. We don't know. Oof, that does sound like a cool problem. Pirates of Darkwater, Pirates of Darkwater. Bucky O'Hare was amazing. Bro, Pirates of Darkwater, Unlocked from Memory. Darkwater. It had a very short run. Yes. Which is why I said it's actually only like 4 episodes. It's like outrageously short for something that in my head I feel like I must have watched every day for months, or years, right? But no. Trenches would be a cool expansion / flip for Into the Dark. Totally agree. Happy dude. That'd be really sweet if they just made it, yeah. Gallow full, but trench. Trench. Done. Don't even need to try. It's just trenches, right? with some mechanics for damage. If yeah, be sweet. Could be cool. A sunken trench table would be dope. I mean, the sunken trench table, the trench table is always a challenge, right? Because the truth is, so like, you know, GW has the Imperial Guard trench things. Those look lovely, right? Those are really good. But to get that trench effect, it's just a wall. It's not a trench, it's a wall, right? Unfortunately, the only way to get a trench to look like a trench is to sink it, which means you don't sink that bit, you raise the rest of the table. GW can't do that for you. You have to go ahead and actually do that yourself. It is what it is. That's just life. But yes, I do agree. I do agree. A sunken trench table would be sweet. Wraithbone jungle terrain is my own unjustified. That'd be sweet. Yep. I would like some sort of, you know, like they did for the forest, whatever it's called, where they did indeed have some Eldar ruins in. Is the base Decima terrain worth getting? No. I don't think it is. If you like it, buy it, but I have a suspicion, well, I don't know. So look, it wasn't played at Worlds. Okay, so Gallowfall and Volcus was played at Worlds. Beta Decima was not. I'm also not really seeing Beta Decima being played at a lot of tournaments in general. So I would not advise someone to pick it up. But if you like the terrain, go for it. Why not? Right? Because you can play on any terrain, whether it's a supported kill zone or not. So you can always play on it, whether it's an official kill zone or not. They're already not using it at Worlds, so it makes literally no difference. I don't think we need to hold ourselves to only playing on Volcus or only playing on Gallowfall. We should play on anything that we have. We should not restrict ourselves to kill zone official terrain. Like the Chaos Knights kill team that will one day arrive. Oh yeah, that's coming any day now, for sure. Yeah. If you want a dappled effect, try sponging it on. So I'm already going to be sponging something else. Sounds like a weird sexual thing, but no. So I'm going to be sponging the battle damage, which will be a much, much darker brown. The dappled effect, I'll get the dappled effect with the spray bottles. Not to worry, not to worry. But yeah. I don't want controlled. And it won't be quicker. Quicker than spraying? Seems crazy. What the hell are you doing with the like, fucking the flash over here, man? What? Deathwood Forest would be awesome. Could modify the Warcry terrain. Yeah, the Warcry terrain, even though nobody played Warcry, is pretty good, I've got to say. I kind of see room for Trench War rules to be printed in White Dwarf or a free download as more casual side rule set. But it doesn't need to be more casual, right? It can just be the thing. Oh, a car sponge. Oh yeah, that would work. Okay. You see, I was thinking the way I would sponge on battle damage is I'll get like a small sponge and I'll rip off like an inch. You know, or like a 2-inch square, and I'll go and hit the corners, sort of thing. Not only the corners, obviously, but okay, a car sponge. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Sure. Beta Decima is great to add to a Necromunda board. Yes, I believe that I can't remember, but yeah, Necromunda. There you go. Simply works well too. Yes. It would, I suppose. But now that he's mentioned a car sponge, I'm kind of on board with that. Like that's a big sponge, you know. So yeah. Warcry lives. Stay strong, brother. One day, when they reboot it in 10 years, Warcry will live. I want to get into Necromunda so badly. Hard to find anyone in my area that plays them. It's always the problem. As I always say, the best game is a game you can actually get games of. Which is why, inevitably, if you don't know what you're doing, 40k is the best game. It's the most played game. But obviously that is heavily dependent on where you live and your local meta. Would it be too wacky if the first terrain ate your operative? Oh gosh, hold on. What's happening? I'm not doing any more hobbies, so I'm going to embigify myself. There we go. And I'm going to put all of this away. So basically, for this terrain, I need to figure out what my video on it's going to be. Because I don't know what to say or do with that. I've taken pictures of the hobbying so far. So I could just do a very standard issue, basic, how to paint terrain. But nobody for Glass Half Dead watches my hobby videos, so it wouldn't actually get very good views. So the alternative is, can I, can you use 40k terrain for Kill Team? And then it would basically be a disguised hobby video and like promotion for mini wargaming and how to use that terrain. I don't know. Undecided. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't need to be more casual, but I've seen it. Yeah. If you're wanting a nice trench for their wargame, simply make a massive 2-inch wide gouge across your dining table. That would be fun as a video. Yeah. Just go ahead and like take a chainsaw to your dining table or something. Yeah. So there you go. Ready built terrain. Let's write the article. Nice. That could be the tricky thing. I have to travel into London to get my Monday fix. Oof. Got a dash. Been a blast. Not to worry, Axie. I will be finishing in a moment anyway. But been a blast. I'm starting to enjoy these Monday night live streams. We'll continue to tune in until I hear about literally any other YouTuber streaming on Monday. That's not going to happen, mate. There are no other YouTube channels, so it's a safe bet. DM me on Discord, show off your sweet Necromunda terrain. I shall check it out as soon as I've hung up from here. Was there anything else I was going to... As I've got 2 minutes left, let's see what else I was going to talk about today. I've talked about Tacticus. I've talked about the terrain. I've talked about War Machine. I think that's it. Oh, Kill Team. Forgot about that game. What have I done lately for Kill Team? Oh, I'll tell you what I've done lately. I went to the local tavern to play a game of Kill Team. 3 dudes, the whole of the Salisbury meta turned up, and I set up the board because I got there early. Set up the board and ready to crack on, and then the 3 of them turned up, and we all sat down and we decided to not play the game. There you go. And the thing is, obviously, we're adults, so we didn't even drink. It's not like we're like, oh, let's get smashed. It's like, I think, well, they all had a bevy or no, just the one, and then I had a diet. I had a Coke Zero, and then a cappuccino. And that was it. There you go. So, didn't play Kill Team, but I was going to play Hyrotech Circle because I really wanted to see how they played, because I was planning on doing rattlings into Hyrotech Circle as like a battle report. I thought that could be fun. But you're right, I do need to play Plague Marines because I don't know how they play, which is ridiculous. I need to know how all the Space Marines play. I'm solid on AOD. I'm solid on M-Claw. I'm solid on Phobos. Well, that's not true, but I know how they play. It's fine. I don't know how Warp Coven play, but I don't need to know how Warp Coven play. It's fine. But But obviously, Plague Marines are one of the teams. They're the starter set team. I should know how they play. So that's on me. That's on me. Cake my dad, I'm going now. I'm tired AF, bro. Tired AF, bro. You need to get here earlier. Or, yeah, just watch it back later. That's fine. The problem with live streaming is it's not good content. Unless you're here being talked to and interacting live. Otherwise, just watch edited content, because that is better content. But hey, sometimes people need something on as they hobby. So, and there's not much Kill Team stuff out there. You can easily get to the end of Kill Team YouTube at this point, I would say. Warhammer Skulls, yes. So I think that the Tacticus thing kind of is Skulls based, because there's a Custodians faction coming, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'll do a Patreon video talking about the innards of that, just for patrons' interest, really. But yeah. Search for Space Spartans with the Greek flag for the Tacticus Guild to join. Leader is Eddie the Greek. Space Spartans. Okay, I'll try. Thank you for yet another great stream, Andy. Hope everyone has a good week ahead. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good time, Kaz and Eddie. And I will be hanging up in a mo. Yes. There's something amusing about the #1 Kill Team YouTuber I haven't checked, living in the deadest area for Kill Team. What are you talking about? We had a 4-man team. We were going hard. We didn't play the game. We're not losers. We said we'd play, and then we just didn't. That's fine. I know, right? It's crazy. Yeah, I know. It's what it is. Who cares? Yes. In fairness, I'm not a good player. And I make sure to make that very clear to people whenever possible. Just throwing that out there. Yeah. Just bought some Dire Avengers, going to build our block. Very nice, Alex. I'm a big fan of Blades of Cain. I point to there because they're there, to be clear. Yeah, I like Blades of Cain. It does appear that other people have realised how good they are. Since, what's his name? Chris Backey almost won LVO with them. But that kind of awakened the slightly more general consensus. People already knew, but yeah. After somebody took them to Worlds as an all-Dire Avenger team, and I didn't perform brilliantly with them, in fairness, because, you know, new edition, etc. And, like, he took a meme list, etc. Yeah, a rough one. But the public perception of them is they were very bottom tier. As you can see, if you go back and look at tier lists, they were on the bottom tier for multiple different creators. So very interesting. I need to watch your videos on cover because I feel like we've been playing cover advantage wrong. Well, Camporo, I have literally the best cover video for Kill Team. So once you've watched that, if you think I'm wrong, go and read the comments and you'll find that I'm not wrong. I got everything right. Thank you. And then watch it again because I'm right. Thank you. And that will teach you everything you need to know. Still hobbying my 2K Grey Knight army, so these streams are nice to have up at the same time. Love a 2K Grey Knight army. I have a combat patrol of Grey Knights just over there. And I think they're pretty cool. However, I'm very conflicted on them because they need new models. Where are they? They're too small. They're squat sized. It's ridiculous, you know. Played my first Kill Team tournament last week. Thorn, hello. Went 1-3 with my Ratters. Very stressful playing at a golden ticket event. Too many sweaties. I don't know. Interesting. You know, inevitably, we what's the word, where survivor bias, right? You get a lot of people saying like, oh, playing in a tournament's the best, I love it, but like, it's not for everybody. You don't have to like the high stress environment. You can be a casual player. I often say that, you know what, approved ops, playing with all the tac ops in all 9 crit ops, that doesn't have to be the end game. You don't have to play that, you know? And I do think people need to normalize that. Obviously, how do you then, you then cannot interact with that as a YouTube creator, unfortunately. So I can't, but I do like to try and stress that when I can, that it doesn't have to be about the high-end competitive play. That is what is going to get all of the talk, obviously, but you don't have to play tac ops. It's fine. You can just play loot every game. That's cool. Yeah. Andy's video on LOS cover, etc. is the best. It genuinely is. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Obviously, normally I just insult myself, but no. Actually, I'm being sarcastic. But yes, my line of sight video is the only one that has done a good enough job to actually cover all the bases. It's not a base pun there. That's just yeah. Yeah, against my friends, Primaris, Imperial, Fisk, Grey Knights look sad. Season 11, woo, yeah. Well, that is the rumour. The rumour is Grey Knights are coming in 11th. Will it be the faction? Probably not. But they might get it when they get their codex in 11th. So that'd be cool. Crazy how Luke went with the worst mission to one of the best. Did it? Is it one of the best? Is it? I like upload. I think upload's fun. I know that a lot of people didn't like loot in the last, or it was very good. I'll go to bed, guys. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end of the stream, I'd like to give you all a big triple hello. Wow, so wholesome. That's for you guys, for hanging in there for so long. I will see you all next Monday. Crimson Bunny, you are quite far behind. But yes, yeah, I think we decided it was Pirates of Darkwater, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah. CT Extraction should be thrown in the bin. That is correct. Nobody should ever play that. Right. Have a good night, everybody. Sleep well. I will see you with a new video on Wednesday.